In this part, we are going to talk about active and passive components which are commonly used in radio frequency circuits, and we are going to compare these two components and see what are the differences. So let's start with active components. An active device is any type of circuit component with the ability to electrically control current flow. So we can control the current passing through the active device. We can increase or decrease. Like the example can be vacuum tubes and transistors. What about the passive elements? The components incapable of controlling current by means of another electrical signal are called passive devices. Resistors, capacitors, inductors, and different kind of passive components like transformers, diodes, they can't control the current. So we can see in this picture, as you see, this is a BJT transistor. This is we can control the current if we change the current passing through the base. We call this IB. If we change this current, we will be able to change the IC, because we know IC is equal to beta IB. So here, if we change the base current, we will change IC. So we can control this. But what about these passive elements? We can control the current here because resistor is always constant. We can control it. Of course, we can increase or decrease current by changing the voltage between the two terminals of resistor, but this is not the case here. We are talking about the element itself. It means that here we should have something inside this resistor in order to tune and change the current. So in this passive component, we can do something like that. So the same for capacitor and inductor. We can control the current here. So we say all active devices control the flow of electrons through them, and there are some types. We say some active devices allow a voltage to control this current. So by changing the voltage, we can control the current passing through the device. But in some devices, we change the current and control the current passing through the device. So for the first one, we call them voltage control because we are controlling the current using the voltage. But for the second one, we call them a current control because this time we are controlling the current passing through the device by using another current. Transistors can be two types, voltage controlled and current controlled. So here we can see a BJT transistor is a current controlled. It means that if we change the current of base, we change the current of collector. So basically we can control the current of collector by current of base. So that's why we call it current controlled. But what about the MOSFET? Here we can change the voltage of gate. So when we change this voltage, the current passing through transistor will change. So here we say it's voltage control because we are controlling the current passing through device by a voltage, by tuning a voltage. So that's why we call this voltage controlled.